Hello, Hiro.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Okay. So, have you got the film on your screen?
Oh, yes, yes. Let's see. Let me open.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, I'll set it at 00.
That'd be lovely. Yeah, I'll do the same. Okay. So, if you're ready, Hiro, I'll do a little countdown, and we can both press play together.
Okay,
I've got my questions ready. Okay. So five, four, three, two, one, and play. Okay.
yeah, it's starting out now. Let me see. Sorry. Oh, I was a little late.
Oh, that's
Now
okay.
I see the
Disney
Disney
logo.
symbol.
Yeah, yeah. I've just got the Disney logo finishing off now, so that's probably be fine as long as
Okay,
we're roughly in sync. That's
opening sequence. Yes.
lovely. Great. So the first question I had, Hero, how did you come aboard the film to begin with?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had my. Could you repeat again?
Oh, yes. I just wondered how you came aboard the film to begin with.
Oh, okay. The executive producer, Ralph Winter, who was one of the producer on Star Trek 6, he called me, says, do you want to have a meeting with Kenny Ortega? So I went to see him, and it was a very quick interview. I think I think Kenny wanted to see me who I was and what I was like. So I openly said, I'm interested in, and I think he decided at that point to hire me.
It's a very good opening sequence, obviously across, which is actually a living history museum in Salem. I think it's the first one there ever was in America. And I think you got the CGI shot of the witch's reflection in the water in the aerial shot.
Yes, yes.
So do you remember being at this location?
Oh, yes. The the opening sequence you see now is actually filmed in Salem, and um, Salem, Massachusetts, and then the interior uh, the is actually a set, studio set at Disney. Um, do you see the
Uh,
name production designer?
yeah.
Yeah, William Sandell did an excellent job of creating the atmosphere of Halloween um, uh, events.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if you have a Halloween in UK, but
When I was a kid, it was kind of not what it is now. Now it's become a bit more
uh,
of a bigger event, a bit more like it is in America,
oh, okay,
but
okay,
but still probably
so,
not quite as important.
yeah. So it, Sandell really captured the feeling of the Halloween atmosphere. Uh, this is that chat was I think combination of a live and painted house. Anyway, this I think we're now back in Los Angeles in
Yes, this would be in Burbank, wouldn't it?
yeah, studios, yeah.
As you say, it's a nice matte painting, isn't it? Sort of combination of live elements
Yes,
house.
yes, yes, yes.
Um, and
Although 1930, I mean 1993, um, this was a time when digital effect was slowly coming into uh, uh, filmmaking, and but we on this film we relied very much on old-fashioned process. I don't think we used any digital effect. Uh, matte painting, green screen, and some optical composition. That's about it. These are all everything. If I can remember correctly, as a on camera shoot.
And how do you approach the period? Is it's are you consciously setting up differently to when we get to modern day?
Yes, you know, we knew it was a comedy, but I think Kenny, uh, I don't know if he used the word comedy. I think he wanted to keep it uh, as as a storytelling, a contemporary storytelling, and not be thinking about comedy. Obviously, the most of actions is comedic, and these three witches, uh, needless to say, very comedic. But when I was lighting the set, I thought of it as a Halloween film, and as and light it as realistically as possible. And uh, of course, right now what we see is the nine, 19, whatever the witch was, 19, I mean 1400, 1500. Um, I don't think I was even conscious of that. I just wanted to capture the images that reflected sort of uh, magical uh, it, mood of this particular story. And uh, Katie,
I was just
go, go,
sorry, I was just saying here that so the Salem witch hunts were between February 1692 and May 1963. I just done a
you,
quick Google of that, so that's sort of
I
time we're
didn't
talking
I
about
didn't
here.
make that much of a difference. I mean, I didn't consciously try to make it look different. Um,
Because with all these special effects that are happening, of course, we know they're going to be added optically later, but you still got
yes,
to get the light right so it looks like so
uh,
that's a skill, isn't it?
yes. When we're shooting this, of course, there's no um, lighting effect. Uh, we may have uh, given a little uh, effect of lighting. We didn't know exactly what the lighting was happening, but I may have added some kind of flash uh, effect onto their faces like this.
I think it just helps sell it, doesn't it? Because if
Yes,
it's
yes, yes,
there's a
yes,
real element to it, it has a
yes,
sort of a realism.
yes, yes.
And I should probably mention Sean Murphy, who plays Thackeray Binks, who later would have great success with NCIS. He was in almost 500 episodes of that show.
Oh, really?
So he
Uh-huh.
plays the young man here. Do you have any memories of Sean? Was he a fairly good to work with?
Would you repeat it again,
Oh, I was
Neil?
just wondering if you remember Sean Murphy, who plays Thackeray here, the young
Not
man.
really, not really.
Mm,
I was uh, I was so involved in lighting and
yeah. And I think also it's Amanda. Shepherd, who plays Emily, the young girl, and
Oh,
again,
oh, really? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, vaguely remember, but
Mm,
didn't pay much attention.
mm,
This is of course, the book uh, hung from a cable, um, and there was no uh, special effect on it, and the cable was removed. If you noticed, uh, the book is a little wobbly, but cable removal, that's sort of an optical effect.
Of course, by 93, that's a lot easier as well
Yes,
to
yeah,
remove. I
yes,
know when they were doing the first Superman film that they had to use very, very thin wires and they had to use very sort of soft
exactly,
focus
exactly.
and stuff to get around
Yeah.
that.
Speaking of wires, on this film, Focus Pocus, um, they had some, well, there were some accidents with cable in other movie. Actually, I was involved in a movie, The Rocketeer, where fortunately was doing the rehearsal with the stunt people. Cable broke, and stuntman broke his legs. So for this film, Hocus Pocus, Disney asked us to increase the thickness of cable for these actresses, just to make sure there won't be any accident. So it was a lot more visible, but fortunately, um, the the background, the set, uh, which is kind of dark and a lot of tree branches, uh, camouflage the cables. And uh, when the cables are moving, you against the tree branches, um, you didn't really notice them. So I don't think there was much of a cable removal um, uh, optical process. So we got away with a lot of uh, unnecessary optical effects.
Hmm. And it's good because, of course, we've got lots of exterior locations, but a lot of it
Yeah.
is, of course, in studio. So part of the trick is to match the what is outside with
Yes.
what's
Yes. Yes.
inside for
Yeah.
the outside.
This scene was shot in the studio, and I think I think we had two studios in at Disney that was devoted to this Hocus Pocus. One was one was with the witch's house and the surrounding, and the other one was that forest sequence we just saw. That was used several times for different forest sequence, and um,
I
I'll
should
get.
mention this. Oh, sorry, here. I was just going to mention this lovely lady called Kathleen Freeman, who plays the teacher. I think it's a lovely
Oh yes,
turn from
she
her.
looks very familiar. Yes,
Mm,
and she was very good. Yeah,
mm.
and um, this classroom was actual existing location somewhere in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's a good because I think some of the houses we see later on, I think some of those it's difficult. It's a difficult. It's a testament to the production design. Is we don't necessarily you can't tell their sets. They're
Right, right.
very
Yeah,
well
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Um, I was going to say, but we're just going to see in a minute. There's a lovely shot of Alison and Max walking,
Uh-huh.
and it's with the leaves all in the fall, and it's lovely
Right.
colours, and
That
so
that particular sequence was shot, I think, in Massachusetts. We uh, we shot that sequence out of sequence,
Mm.
and some shot in Massachusetts. That quick exit, I don't remember it was in Los Angeles or Massachusetts. I can't remember. I think it
I
was
think a
Mass.
lot of it is
Yeah, this is
Massachusetts, I
Massachusetts.
think.
Yeah, this is Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And notice this fence,
Mm.
iron face in foreground.
Yeah.
Okay, you see that repeated in Los Angeles location. It was a very clever match. Uh, at night, when the witches gather around the schoolhouse, the it was shot in Burbank, and because of that iron fence, you associate this area, the same area as in Massachusetts. I mean Salem location, but that part was definitely shot in the
It's a
studio
nice way of
lot.
blending the
Yes,
locations and
yeah,
making it seamless, isn't
right,
it?
right.
And we now see Max is going to go through an actual
Yeah,
graveyard in
yeah,
Massachusetts. Is there always
right. This is again this is
oh,
Massachusetts.
yeah.
Uh, I mean Salem.
Mm, yeah. And yeah, it's a nice time of year to shoot it as well, isn't it? Obviously.
Right, right.
Um,
Although they have to gather these leaves.
mm, yeah, and a lot of it's put in, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm. So when you
This,
film, sorry, can I hear?
this, unfortunately, the weather was not matching, but we have to go ahead and film it. It was cloudy.
And of course, nowadays you could digitally grade it, couldn't you? So you could do it
Yes, yeah,
in a way you couldn't do it back then.
yeah.
I was wondering, but when you're filming in a real graveyard, is there a certain sensitivity film crews have, and it's sort of certain, because obviously it's quite sensitive, isn't it, to film in
Um, you know, you're right, but I'm not sure how much of these gravestones are real or propped.
Hmm. So some of you would put in especially
Yes,
for
yes, yes, for
yeah,
for the film.
mm, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that would obviously make it much easier, wouldn't it, to sort of
Right, right. You
sort of
don't
do
you
that.
don't want the people to be stomping around a
No, no,
graveyard.
no, ideally not. No.
Yeah,
Um, um, do you
yeah.
think having shot it in the actual in Salem itself kind of gave the film another layer to it by having that
Oh,
authenticity?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. It 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 it. Not only that, when we were shooting in Salem, we got to meet real witches. I mean, professional witches,
Mm.
and got to interview some of them. And this is a great Salem building. Anyway, inside, I'm not sure inside is a Salem. I think it's LA. Anyway, when you meet real active um, acting witches in real life, you really begin to feel the story.
So you learned quite a bit, I imagine, on this film. Do a bit of research and things, and
Yes, yeah.
see
Well,
kind of what things happened, and
not myself, but
mm,
art department and director Katie, I'm sure, did a lot of research, a lot of interview.
mm.
This, um, I don't remember whether it was a set or actual location in LA.
I think probably because of some of the special effects that happens later, probably is. I would say it's probably in Burbank, I think.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's one room was definitely a set. Um, one room that's going to get destroyed later in the film, uh, and that was built in a in the studio. Anyway, this girl, um, Thora Birch,
Full Birch, yes.
yeah, you remember seeing her later in her life, right? She's really good, very
She's
good.
going to be a very good actress, isn't she? She was only 11 at this time,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe even
yeah.
10 at time of filming.
It was
So
it was pretty amazing, and she was just like her. I mean, she is. She wasn't doing anything but being her. That's great.
mm. And they have great chemistry. The brother,
Oh,
the brother and sister relationship
brothers,
is very
I
strong.
think they're. I'm not sure. I wasn't paying much attention, but they seem to work pretty well. So they go upstairs, and later you'll see a room upstairs that's cleverly. Okay, there are three locations, almost like Salem, LA, and studio. Yeah, when you're shooting you hope to match as as much as possible. But you notice exterior is shot on a cloudy day, interior is sunny, but most audience wouldn't notice the
Mm.
difference.
Uh,
Here we jump to night,
mm.
but shot in Burbank, or maybe could have been a Disney back lot.
So did Disney have quite an extensive back lot back in the
Yes, or Disney
90s?
has, yeah, the whole street.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see it a few times.
Mm.
Um, and
So I
art,
imagine this.
go
So
ahead.
go on here.
Art department did a very wonderful job of decorating uh, the street. You'll see much more of a festivity later, but I was very conscious of keeping it as colorful as possible, but not not too much.
Mm.
Try to maintain realism and at the same time maintain the Halloween color, like adding this green on the wall here in the background. It just helped to create the seasonal look.
It's very effective, isn't it? When you point it out, when you've got the sort of red of the doors
Yes,
and
yeah,
lights as well, it all kind of
yes,
contributes to that kind of
right,
full sort of feel, doesn't it?
yeah. And at the same time, I just, even though it looks a little overlit, but I wanted to maintain some drama with light, but uh, I'm not sure if Kenny, I, 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 I don't remember any conversation with Kenny about uh, because it's a comedy, we should have more light, should be lit like comedy. And I didn't quite subscribe to the idea that comedy should be lit well. And like these moments, very simple shot, but uh, pumpkins and the orange filter on lights, I think it helped very much.
Yeah, it's all
I
there, as you
do,
say, but it's not kind of overwhelming you, is it? It's not sort of.
right. I do remember how cold it was in LA. I mean, Los Angeles can get pretty cold at night. And in couple shots, I remember seeing a white breath coming out of the kids.
Mm.
But anyway,
It must be quite complex from a director's point of view of having lots of kids to,
you're right.
especially at night,
I
working
think
hours and
yes,
stuff.
yeah. So did you see that? the breath.
Oh yeah, yes, I did. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It was that cold.
Mm. So
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
go?
That's it. It's true.
Mm,
Kenny have to organize, choreograph for his
mm,
actions with so many people. Now here is a very interesting. When we were shooting, this is I think it's a real house. So the kids enter into a Halloween party, and and there's a left side. Left side is um, composed of adults having their party, and I do remember thinking, oh, maybe I should keep the adults party in the background in a little bit cooler color, and to keep the kids in foreground warm. Uh, I don't know why I felt that way, but anyway, I think it worked out effectively.
I think that's a very interesting choice. You say if you look at it, yes, the kids are sort of in a
Oh yeah,
the yes, it's a warmer when they're
yes,
around. Yes, that's very
yes.
interesting. Yeah. Mm,
And those ideas that came that day, but we're just improvising. And this scene, uh, it looks simple, but it was really, really maddening when we were shooting,
mm.
um, controlling the background. You see, um, I'm going to just turn on the sound a little bit. Okay.
Mhm.
You, you hear the music, right?
Not I think only you can,
Oh,
but
oh, okay.
I'm familiar
Okay.
with John's score. Yes, so I know
I'm going
roughly what
to
would.
turn off the music.
Yeah.
Um, so while the conversation, dialogue is going on, there's the music, the party going on. And of course, when we're shooting, you can't play music over people's dialogue. So um, when the kids are talking to each other, you hear the music, but when we were shooting, there was no music. And and you see that musical sequence later on, um, that these actors have to sort of improvise as if the music is on. And anyway, I guess they are trained to do so. Um, in later musical number, um, I'll explain that
Oh,
there
lovely.
was
Yeah.
no music, not even singing.
So again, I
So
think this is rather well done, isn't it? Sort of and of course the house is different from what we saw.
right,
First
right,
of all, it's been modernized, so that's
right,
obviously something that
exactly, exactly.
affects how it's going to now look from your point of view, because we're going to be introducing modern lighting to
I
it.
think it came out effectively. I mean, I'm glad that Kenny was willing to accept this really dark image, and it gradually uh, the light comes on later. And um, normally, when you say comedy, well, you're trying to avoid such a dark images, but I think he went along with it. It's came out came out pretty good. This set, of course, built in Disney stage. It's the same set that comes that we used later on for uh, a lot of scenes. It's really amazingly dressed, beautifully dressed. Like that cat shot, the cat was not there. It was added on later.
Because I think you do have I know there's some real cats in this, and also I think you've got some animatronics and
Right,
things as
right.
well.
I don't think we had any electronic cats. We have dummy, and
Mm,
we just placed dummy,
yeah.
and then and removed it, shoot the scene, and then later on the cat is added on.
Ah. Mm. And it's a lovely effect with the black candle as well. The black flame, I think, is a very again an optical element, but I think it's
Yes.
very good.
Have you seen this actress
Sorry, Hero?
uh, in the scene that this girl?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, the lady plays Alison.
Yeah,
I've got her name. I should know actually. So
I've never seen her before
yeah.
or after.
Well, she has done quite a bit actually. She's
Oh, really?
still working.
Oh, really?
The guy who plays is Max, less so, but he's I
Oh,
think he's due to be in the next one actually.
oh, really? Okay.
But it's Vanessa Shaw,
Oh,
who
yeah,
plays
yeah.
Alison,
Uh.
and
So um, this set, uh, uh, I remember um, I couldn't use any big lights, so I had to use lots of small lights, like 200 watts, 400 watts, and sometimes Christmas tree lights, just to give an ambience and hide the lights behind post. My gaffer came up with the idea of using a Christmas tree, and it really helped. I was concerned, where am I going to hide lights? And uh, I didn't want to put a large soft lights overall ambience in this room.
so because you've got to try and obviously because you've got lots of effects in this. You've got the fireplace going and the
Yes,
light popping and stuff.
yeah,
So
yes. This uh, light effect in Cauldron, it was actually real. I mean, we Gaffer and I came up with uh, soft light inside the cauldron, um, and on dimmer we can just sort of give an effect um, with this cauldron, and and dry ice camouflage the any mechanism we had inside. They must have spent a lot of rehearsing this before the shooting started. These ladies, um, by the time we were shooting, they had their choreograph really down to every step.
hmm. It's a very wonderful relationship they have, isn't it? The sisters.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
seems like a very it's so such a natural
yeah,
relationship that they
yeah,
have. I was wondering, and again, this is a lovely moment from four as well because she's pretending she's the one that brought them back to try and sort of, get out of this situation. I think she does a very good job pretending to be
yeah, yeah.
a witch herself. Um,
Bette Midler was absolutely wonderful.
yeah.
She was,
And the confidence she has as for that
yeah,
age, I mean, it's brilliant,
yeah.
isn't it? But,
She was wonderful on screen, off screen. I think she was the I only talked to Bette Midler. I don't even had any conversation with it. Two others.
I know
And
this is a role that Bette Midler loved, and I know she was probably a big reason why they made a second one and why they're going to make a third one.
okay,
I think
yeah, yeah,
she really enjoyed doing this
yeah,
performance.
yeah,
So I imagine that sort of was
yeah,
self-evident when you were kind of making it really, how much fun
yeah,
she was
yeah,
having.
yeah. And off screen, when she's waiting for her time to be in front of the camera, and I could I mean, quite often hear her singing And it's really wonderful. I mean, singing not loud, but always in musical mode,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. So these flashes, lightning, those are added on, obviously. See that cat, she was playing with the cat dummy.
Mm. And again, because the shots are so quick, you don't really sort of
Yeah,
notice
right,
that
right.
at
And
all.
I don't know how they added the cat jumping onto her. It was such a quick shot, but when we were shooting, we didn't have cats landing on her. It's just
Mm.
she was pretending.
Yes. Yeah, this is a nice little joke, isn't it, with the water coming down? Because of course, the first time we see the witches, they have the makeup that makes them look quite old.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
of course
No
it's down to
change.
the makeup artist, but of
Right.
course it's down to your lighting as well to kind of emphasize maybe
Yeah,
you're shooting them a bit differently than you are perhaps
right.
here, I suppose. Mm. So we've also got Kathy the Jimmy as Mary, and of course Sarah Jessica Parker, who's of course gone on to
Yeah,
big things as the
yeah,
other
yeah.
two Sannons and sisters.
I met Broderick, her husband, on another project briefly. I think he came down to see this shooting
Oh yeah.
one day he was there.
Yeah, yeah, Matthew Broderick has done has a fantastic career, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Now
Um,
this, I don't know if you noticed the background, a little see this bluish background on the other
mm,
side of the forest. Uh, that's a that's the ambience light bounced on large fabric all around the stage, but just to camouflage the the, um, the end of the studio. I mean, a studio wall actually.
mm. Yeah, they're very effective.
Now outside, see this fence? It looks like it's a part of the earlier fence.
Yes, it does.
This is now back to a back lot in Burbank. Yeah.
Do you remember if you started at Salem and then moved to the studio? I take it you probably did that.
You know,
Oh.
I think we went to Salem in the middle of shooting schedule
Mm,
because there's this seasonal because of the season we have to be in Salem at a certain time.
mm. And is it one of those, is Salem one of those places that because we take our knowledge of the history about
Right,
what happened,
exactly.
does it have kind of a weird, do you feel a bit different when you're in Salem? Does it feel a bit spooky? Does it feel
Oh,
a little bit?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, yes.
yeah. We've got some good added lights of the fire trucks and things. And of course, you don't have to show the trucks; you just see the lights, and
Right,
therefore the
right.
audience thinks there's trucks, but
Yeah.
you don't perhaps see in the same way. Sometimes you see helicopter lights, but you don't actually see there's no
Right.
helicopter there. It's all done for the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
There was no space for a fire
Yeah,
truck to come in.
yeah.
Oh,
So yeah.
I wanted to mention these forest set. We had a problem um, uh, because they not planted, they brought in trees, small trees, hundreds of them. As they uh, begin to dry, uh, the fungus and spore spread out, and a lot of people got sick.
Oh,
either allergic reactions or simply got sick. And we have to stop shooting for a few days. Um, and studio brought in a um, specialist to spray the whole studio with antibacterial or whatever to kill spore.
hmm.
And that was an unexpected incident.
Yes, yes. Um, because you don't have the ventilation you would in a real forest, and of course studios
Yeah,
are hot
yeah,
places. And I can,
yeah,
yes, I can, yeah,
yeah. And of course, studio. Uh, I think studio had some kind of insurance to cover the unexpected postponement in shooting. Yeah, I think we closed the studio for like a week, and we went on to something else on location.
mm,
Now there's a couple that was so this shot the I mean witches were not there. See this? It's it's difficult to hang three witches at the same time.
yes,
It's a technical problem. So I think those three shot witches together were shot against a green screen, and they added it on later. And
I did hear that Sarah Jessica Parker actually really liked the wild work. She heard a lot of
oh
actors
yeah, yeah, yeah.
who can't stand it,
Yeah.
but I think she,
I
yeah,
was impressed with all of
yeah,
them. They enjoy flying
yeah.
like this,
Yeah,
and
I think Sarah would stay there in between
yeah,
takes. She didn't want to come down. She just gave her a book and
right,
she was happy there suspended,
yeah.
It's been quite a sort of freeing experience.
Some shots were done by another cameraman, Itzy Mankowski, a friend of mine, who did. He was suspended by cable and with a handheld camera, uh, got some shots, cutting points,
Mm.
and combined with those from the ground and from the ball, the sequence will looked pretty exciting.
Mhm.
I was uh, I was impressed with the costume designers too. Did
Mm.
really wonderful work on every character's costume, especially
Especially
with
particularly Doug Jones, who we're seeing now as Billy. I think that's a very good.
yes, yeah.
It's
He was a wonderful guy.
mm. And
He
again,
was
he's gone
a
on to great things, hasn't he, with Star
yeah,
Trek and other things. And
yeah. He's a contortionist. I don't know if you knew that.
mm. And as you say, the costume, it's sort of you don't want to be too realistic. Say, well, somebody who's
Right.
been dead for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's a fine line between the costume and makeup as to
Right.
you
Yeah.
know obviously you're making a family film, so
Yeah. This man, he could fit into a cardboard box. I don't know how he did it, but
no.
this was an interesting sequence. Um, Later on in the tunnel, uh, underground tunnel, that uh, I'm not sure if it was built. I can't remember now. Inside the tunnel, um, I think it was a set,
Mm.
but it looked quite real, frightening. And
So of course you're having to work very close with the production designer,
yes, yeah,
your camera operator, costume as
right,
well, because your costumes are
right.
going to affect how you light things and
Yes, yeah.
um,
And um, he was quite cooperative. I mean, um, he did all the preparations, but he was open to any suggestions, which is rare sometimes.
Mm.
So we're back to um, studio.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean Burbank
Yeah,
lot.
the back lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this fence, it's quite clever.
Mm. I think it's a fine line, isn't it, when you're making a film that's because it's very dark in a lot of places in terms of
Yeah, yeah,
tonally, yet
yeah.
you also have lots of comedy, a bit like life. It's a bit of everything.
Right, right.
Um,
My belief is once once you see the set or location, uh, audience maintain their memory of the locational set, and and when they see the locational set, oh, here's a tunnel that I thought was came out very good,
mm.
and it must have been the set.
And of course, you've got a bit of mist and stuff
Right,
as
right.
well. So it's a bit of
Yeah,
smoke you're adding here.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But anyway, audience can imagine uh, uh, or visualize whatever they saw first. And even if you show a really dark part of the set, audience can imagine the rest of it. Uh, do you know what I mean? Uh, the it's a combination of what they see and what they imagine, and I think the film can take advantage of that um, perception, so to speak.
Yeah, I think the mind will fill in the blanks,
Right,
won't it? Yeah.
right, and I think that's very important to me. Uh,
Mm. I suppose the secret to any role in the film business is to a bit like a composer to know
right,
not to
right, right.
overdo it, to
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
what to let kind of just be
Yeah.
shadows or you
Yeah,
know.
like this. I mean,
Mm,
if it's overlit, I mean, it won't look frightening, and there's no room to expand your imagination.
mm. There's one wonderful movement from Doug Jones there as well, going through
Yeah,
the catacombs as well. That's
yeah,
contortionist sort of talent. Um, and again, not making it too grotesque as well, just
exactly.
seeing
Yeah,
enough,
yeah,
but you know.
yeah,
Um, so of course that would have been an insert shot done
yeah, yeah,
separately.
yeah. I remember a scene like this. Script supervisor will be reading a cat line,
Oh right, yes, yeah, yeah.
so the actors can at least react to.
Do you find that most actors are quite good with that? Because of course if you can't physically got anything to bounce off, it must be
Right, right. Yeah.
not the easiest thing for an actor, I would have thought. Um, and I imagine
This,
this was quite a lot of
yeah,
long setup as well.
yeah. This section came out the scene came out pretty good. You see the fire effect on the building, on the exterior of the house.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's a projected. I mean, it's a light effect. It and Gaffer came up. I thought I said to him, "Let's project something fire effect," and he came up with a very simple um, the technique using color gel in rotating light, and like that effect. It works pretty well. I didn't even think about it until we got on the set and realized it would be more effective. Seeing it would be more fun and frightening at the same time
Hmm.
if we had a fire effect. I've always admired actors who can act out of sequence. Um, like this sequence is part of um, kids running around uh, going for trick and treat. And this sequence, I'm sure they were like shot weeks apart. Uh, but they
When you're
have to,
shooting the Sanderson house, I take it you're shooting that a bit. You're shooting the period,
right,
the
right,
modern, then obviously when they
right,
take it
right.
over, kind of
Yeah,
sequence, aren't you? I suppose, but
yeah, yeah,
um, but yeah, it's a big puzzle, isn't it? It's a big jigsaw puzzle. Shooting a film, you're shooting
yeah,
this there, and you're shooting that bit, and then of course you've got to put it all together.
yeah.
Again, that's a nice comic moment. I think this is
Do you know,
quite good. This, isn't it?
yeah. Do you know who that was?
So here.
Yes. It's a famous director, Gary Marshall.
Oh yes, Jay Martin, and it's his sister Penny, isn't it? I think in this.
Right, right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah. What were they like to be on set?
Well, it was just a one night shoot. Um, uh, I didn't even try to figure out her relationship with other actresses, which is they uh, they are so professional. They didn't try to impress each other or anything. It's quite good.
Was it the director's idea to have them on? Do you know how they kind of ended up in the film?
Uh, uh, what was that? Your question?
I just wondered if you know how they ended up on the film, whether it was the director
You
wanted them
know,
in or.
these are such experienced actors.
Mm.
Um, the conversation between the director Kenny and these actors, I I don't remember too much.
Mm.
They pretty much figured out what they're going to do, I think. Um,
So would you say that Kenny was a director that would very much let people kind of try things
I
and
think so. I
yeah,
think so.
yeah.
In this case, in these two cases,
Mm.
I mean, in this uh, Gary and Penny Marshall's.
Mm. It's lovely with the snakes. What we know, what the witches think are snakes in her hair. Well, it's
Yeah,
they are, aren't they, for the Halloween? But
right, right, right.
it's you know
I don't know how much of this they were improvising or uh, they're going strictly along with the script. I'm not sure.
mm. Do you get the sense that there was a reasonable amount of improv on this film?
I
That
have a feeling. I have a feeling. I wasn't checking the script, but I have a feeling they they memorized the script, but then they kind of improvised.
Mm.
I'm not sure. It looked quite natural. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of arguments or discussion. They just showed up on the set and did their thing.
And of course, you already mentioned the chemistry between the three of
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
and just the way
yeah.
they hold their skirts as they
Right.
move around together.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Here's a interesting sequence. Um, they come to this Halloween party, and there's there's a big musical number, if you remember,
mhm.
starting around here.
Yeah.
And I asked uh, producer, says, can we bring in a special lighting artist? And I told him I'm not a music video person, and I'm not a professional theatrical lighter. So to make this whole sequence effective, especially that little as a musical number, um, can we get a real experienced lighting person? And the producer said, no, 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 no. This musical is not a Broadway musical. It shouldn't look professional, but it should look, you know, good enough. And I said, well, okay. Well, he said, you do the lighting. Don't try to be perfect. Just have fun. And Kenny said, yeah, I don't want you to make this uh, a Broadway show. Just if it gets messy, it's okay. So anyway, uh, I had a responsibility of lighting this sequence. Now, the main musical number is already the her Betty's singing is already pre-recorded. The music is already done, and they have to just play uh, silently. I mean, mouth sync against the pre-recorded music. So we had the music number and uh, rehearsed, and we got to watch the rehearsal. Then my gaffer and dimmer board technician and myself got together and sort of improvised the lighting sequence, and and we used the computer board, dimmer board, so we can actually record lighting change and repeat it on every take. So once we set the lighting, uh, uh, keyboard, dimmer board artist doesn't have to uh, watch the scene unfold. He just turn on the switch and let it repeat itself. And of course, the actors, all the extras, they have to pantomime dancing because because uh, they couldn't play bits singing while they had dialogue. So a lot of dialogue sequence, they were pantomiming against the music that was turned off
Mm.
while the dialogue was going. Uh, do you get my uh,
Yeah. So Bette is hearing
yeah,
herself going to the music. Yeah.
yeah, she's not singing actually, she's just mouthing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So somehow in in the end, like from here on, watch this dancing sequence. Lighting changed and all that stuff. We sort of made it up. and Bit was also pantomiming herself
Mm.
against her pre-recorded singing. Anyway, so in the end, it came out pretty good.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I think it's a very effective sequence. I should mention that the guy who plays Max's dad and
Uh-huh.
Danny's dad,
Oh, here, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Charles Rocket. I don't know if you remember
I've
him at
I've
all.
never seen him before, but he
Mm.
was good. He was very good. And and his wife also.
Yes, she was. That was Stephanie Farway.
Uh-huh.
Charles was part of Saturday Night Live for a while, and he very
Oh, really?
famously
Uh-huh.
got fired along with some other people for accidentally using a swear word on that he
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
it was described as the ultimate profanity, so I think you can probably
Oh,
imagine
really?
what he said. But um, and sadly, he died very young. Actually, died at 56.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, we're in the back of restaurant, right?
Back to the restaurant, yeah. Now back to the restaurant, yeah.
Yeah. This guy in the costume,
Mm,
uh, picking up the lobster, he was one of my camera assistant. I
ah,
think they run out of extras
yeah,
just to play that role.
yeah. I don't know if there was quite a few crew that made their way into the dance number because it seems like a good way to get them in,
I
doesn't
think
it?
so. Yeah, yeah. Or
Mm,
at least they had a costume even there, roaming around.
mm.
So even this scene like this, I mixed color temperature quite a bit. Um, Not just regular 3200 Kelvin. I I put gels on a lot of lights. So we're back to
This is the
again.
actual
Yeah,
location, I think.
yeah, location. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. So when you also so you say putting gels on lenses, you're also putting filters and
Yes.
things like
Oh,
that on,
yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Not on the camera lens, but on light sources.
light sources. Yeah.
Yeah, mixing color temperature,
Mm.
and and I often do that because in reality there is no single color temperature. Even in your room, uh, the window facing north has a very different color temperature than window facing south, and that's why what the reality makes more colorful than regular TV photography, so to speak.
Does it make a difference? Because of with that in terms of the film that they use as well, in terms of how
Yeah,
you would
yeah, yes. It really creates more three-dimensional feeling. Uh,
because you're not shooting the widescreen, the 2351, are you? This is more of a 1771 sort of type sort of frame, isn't it? You haven't got the black bars
yeah,
either
yeah,
side of it, so that obviously dictates,
yeah.
framing and depth of focus, and I imagine, and this is the ratings you mentioned as well, matching from earlier. Um,
Yes.
And there is a big clue as to where we are in a second on the reverse of this, where you see the water fountain, the fountain very famously used in Friends.
Uh-huh.
In the opening
Yeah,
shot in the
yeah.
title sequence of the TV series Friends, you always see this fountain. So this
Yes.
is obviously back in California.
Yes,
Yeah, that this
but
fountain here is that's the one
yes,
from
yeah,
Fen.
yeah. Our department brought this fence, iron fence, just to make visual connection.
Again, it's lovely how the fountain's lit as well. I like
Yes,
the
yeah.
light on that. Do you prefer shooting in locations or do you like studio? I suppose studio you've got more control, haven't you, with studio?
Well, in studio you have more control, but uh, unless you're very careful, it the the set sort of create uh, kind of image that only set can give you, and the real location has limitation, but that limitation, uh, I mean, to me, it's real, and what I'm trying to say is, I like both of them. Um, Actually, I like the real set. I mean, a real location.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like in Hollywood studios, you end up moving walls so that you can get the camera in and then start creating a certain camera move that I mean that's interesting, but then it's not real sometimes. It's real only in movies. Uh, well, some cameramen like set because you have better control,
Mm.
but I'm coming from documentary background. I enjoy trying to solve certain problem under a limited circumstances.
Mm. I think sometimes when you have sort of a short time or a short small
Right.
budget, sometimes you can be more creative
Yeah.
in a way because you kind of you've got that pressure to.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm used to uh, those challenges, how to solve uh, in real situation, um, how to solve photographic challenges,
Mm,
but but certainly there are advantages in studio sets.
mm.
Uh,
And do you know that you always wanted to work in the movie business? What sort of spurred you to
um,
do that?
oh, no, no, not really. I started as a graphic designer, and I didn't get into movie business until I was like late 20s and 30s. Beginning to In my 30s, I was still functioning as a I mean professionally working as a graphic designer and occasional motion picture cameraman. And uh, so I've never really known uh, basic uh, motion pictures cinematography, so to speak. And movie cinematography is became my profession really uh, um, when I was almost 40. And so I didn't really follow or studied basic basic cinematography.
Were, were other members of your family, your parents, graphically or artistically inclined? Were they sort of?
Well, my father died when I was a boy,
Oh,
and
sorry to hear that.
my mother, she didn't seem to to express her feeling about my future. Really, she was fine with whatever I studied, so I had a kind of freedom in that sense. And when I became a graphic designer, she was happy. And when I became a motion picture cameraman, she was happy. She said, "Whatever you do, just
Yeah.
do your best." That's about the extent of her
Yeah.
influence on my profession.
Am I correct? You were born in Seoul in South Korea. Is that?
Right, right.
Yeah.
My parents had a hospital, but at the end of the war, we have to evacuate back to Japan.
Yeah.
My parents are from Japan,
Yeah.
and so we did, and uh, lived in Nara and also Tokyo
Hmm.
uh, before. After my father passed away, my mother remarried a Japanese American in Hawaii, so we moved to Hawaii.
So when you say they had a hospital, did they run it or were they involved
Yes,
in?
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
he ran
Oh wow.
a hospital. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
yeah. He passed away when he was only 47,
Right.
and my mother managed to 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 keep on our life. I mean, keep living with four children, and and she was only like 37. Can you imagine? I
Oh
don't know how
wow.
she managed.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a flying sequence.
This is a good one, isn't it? And
That you, I mean, you can't see any cable,
no, no.
luckily.
And I love it that Mary's on a vacuum cleaner. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember whether that was in the script or they decided to improvise.
Hmm.
Maybe it was in the script.
So have you got light coming from the book itself here?
Uh, I had, yes, interactive light hidden. I think it was like a tiny fluorescent tube, so it can be kind of hidden in the book.
Hmm.
Then later on they added um, that shaft of light. So this is we're using real house, and then we'll cut to a um, set. The boys' room is actually a set.
Yes. And of course, you're quite of course the as the night turns into starting to get towards dawn now, aren't you? Sort of
Right. Yeah.
timely. So of course you're changing, of course, how the light you're putting on them and everything.
Right.
Um,
You know, because it's essentially a um, comedy, um, I was um, less bound by um, lighting continuity, so to speak, meaning like, I mean, like coming up the stairways and walking into the set. The lighting has no, I mean, seemingly no match, but it didn't really matter. Or so I wasn't bound by um, uh, like some narrative films. You're a lot more conscious of continuity of light, but here you can really get away with almost anything. so long as the sort of the rhythm of the sequence makes sense. Like you cut to this totally fake exterior shots and then cut back. And here's a broken, it's a set.
So that's a blue screen.
Yeah,
You're just
yes,
looking
yeah,
out.
yeah, I had a green screen, yeah.
Were you using blue or green at this time?
By 19, I mean,
Uh,
1993, I
yeah,
think it was green screen.
green at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, and much easier to do.
Hmm.
Blue screen, it took so much light.
Hmm.
I think this was against green screen because because Kenny hadn't decided what the background is going to be, and ended up not using it, a
Hmm.
forest background, and
Right.
dissolved with the kids, which was shot in Salem.
Hmm. And again, because of the number of kids you have in the sequence, I would have thought quite complex
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do.
Like Max looking down. I mean, he was in a stage, on the stage set, just looking down, pretending to see his kids.
Hmm.
At least both of them have been to Salem, and
Yes.
I'm sure they remember what the location looked like.
Hmm. So with nights, you're probably shooting from sundown to almost sunrise, aren't you? I would have thought.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is it something you ever get used to shooting nights, or is it always feel a bit unnatural?
Yeah, it's it it's it's pretty common, I think,
Hmm.
in our business.
Yeah. You get used to it. Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
like that moon was added on,
Hmm.
so is this smoke.
Yes. I think it's good how you've got the lighting in the house because of course you've got some candles, some electric lights from the modern with having
Right, right,
present as opposed
right.
to so I think if one was to look at the house in the period and now obviously it's a very different
Yeah,
lighting style, isn't it?
and also, I think I took down all the lights in the background. So
Mm.
interior, see this, the background is pretty dark, much darker than before. So you pre your eyes go only to this actors, and the production designer, when he was building the set, I think he really understood how dark he can paint this wall or pillars and still showed up on film. And if he had painted much lighter, I would have had a hard time lighting the set. And if he had painted too dark, then it won't show up.
Mm.
It's it, it's the experience on the part of production designer.
So you have a very close relationship with kind of saying this is what he wants, this is what directors want.
Right,
You
right,
say from a
right.
lighting point of view,
Yes,
it's
yes,
better if we have this or
right.
that as well.
I didn't have to struggle trying to eliminate shadows, unnecessary shadows. I mean, I just briefly saw multiple shadows, but I don't think average people noticed it.
And it was Eric Anderson was your camera operator for, and he
Well,
did.
actually, um, he um, he worked briefly.
Right.
Um, but the main camera, I'm glad you asked. Main camera operator is Christine Glover, a female operator
Mm.
who was also my key operator on Star Trek.
Right. Yeah.
And I really wanted to promote uh, female camera people, and the Los Angeles Camera Union was not open to uh, female mem. Well, they're open, but they're not openly accepting active female members. Um, in those days, I think there are only a few female director of photographies. Now we have many. Luckily, we have many very good ones. But anyway, I try at least to promote, encourage cameramen to hire female operators. And Kristen Glover was a key operator on this movie, as well as Star Trek, which Nick Meyer did.
So having worked with her a couple of times, you had a good sort of almost shorthand with her, I
Yes,
expect.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. She was very good.
Mm. And how much was Ralph Winter, the producer, was he quite hands-on in terms of on the
No,
set?
no.
No,
Ralph
no.
was he was a very good producer in that sense. He didn't micromanage.
Right, he was let
Yes,
people do their thing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And he's very talented. Um, uh, like the color grading on this film. Um, uh, I think Ralph, uh, I think was in charge because I don't recall going to lab to do a color grading, and I think Ralph was in charge of it. Whereas other films, I was always uh, present at the, you know, talking to a color timer and making suggestion. But here he saw dailies, and then he sort of understood my approach, and the final grading, I think he was in charge, which I thought was pretty amazing.
Mm.
It came
So
out
how do
really
you
well.
yeah, how do you color grade a film pre-digital? How does that kind of work?
Well, when the editing is done, uh, you go to the lab, who's going to make a final print, and you sit with a color timer, and you go through every scene, like, well, this is too bright, this is too dark, this is too cool or cold or too warm, whatever. Um, in those days, you could only change color and uh, brightness, primary color and brightness. Um, Today, it's completely different. I mean, you can go into color, contrast, um, even grain structure. Um, but anyway, um, I love digital color grading, of course, much better than the old color timing of the past. You can make so much improvement. But anyway, you go through every scene, and then you get to see color print, projection print, and you sit again with the timer and said, "Oh, this is good," or this needs to be a little yellower or greener or whatever." And usually by the third print, um, you're pretty much done. You're satisfied with the result. But density you couldn't change with a film. With a digital film, I mean digital uh, images, you can change the density as well.
It's quite
Uh,
interesting when, sorry, Hiro.
Toward the end, the last sequence, there were so many uh, compositing, and I didn't like the result, but I don't think I could have improved because of the composite prints and so forth. Anyway,
And I'm watching the 4K version of the film, and yeah, I think the whole film looks stunning, and
yeah, yeah.
including this sequence. So it's but
So
this must
you're watching 4K.
4K,
I'm
yeah.
watching, it doesn't say 4K, so I'm watching uh bef this is not the latest. Yeah, no, this is not the latest.
Yeah.
This is an old one, I think.
Oh yes, that's things for the old DVD.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, very complex sequence this, and but you say
yeah.
it's,
You know, nowadays it's the studios don't have a courtesy of asking the director of photography to supervise uh, latest color corrections.
hmm,
Um, they bypass. I don't know who um, gets in charge of color grading, but um, even the Star Trek, which Ralph was involved, so I could trust him. I didn't supervise color correcting.
hmm,
Uh, I mean, the film, yes, but not the digital transfer.
right. And it's good how you sort of see the sun. You're seeing the light getting the
Yeah,
background's
yeah,
getting lighter and lighter, and you see the
right,
sort of
right.
the oranges in certain shots. So you kind of,
Yeah,
although perhaps you're not consciously too aware of it on the first viewing,
exactly. Yeah,
you are
it,
kind of
you're getting to a very interesting uh, aspect of filmmaking. Um, as a cameraman, I mean, I thought my perception of color and imagery are consistent, but no, as you get older, or not necessarily older, but as the time passes, your perception changes. It's amazing how interesting. I mean, how much it changes, and uh, uh, things I thought was great not always look great anymore. Things that looked okay suddenly seems to be, oh, this is great. Anyway, the so I don't really trust 100% of my own ability to color grade old film. And um, anyway, it's like this shot. I mean, it's it's not great to me. The shot of Miller lifting the boy. It's got so much overlay on effect that on this DVD it looks
you're referring to how the optic
right.
composite kind of you can
It
see a slight
right, yeah,
layering perhaps. Yeah.
and it's like less Jessica Parker flying. It looks a little uh, artificial to me.
Mm. I mean, it's quite good that they haven't played with it, because of course George Lucas very famously with Star Wars films,
Right, right.
and of course fans like alternate versions, but
Yeah,
what
yeah.
upset them was they didn't have the originals as well. So
Right.
I think it's you don't really want part of perhaps that it might be slightly ropey by today's standards is perhaps
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah.
charm of the film. You don't really want
Yeah.
to kind of make it.
That's true.
Mm.
Yeah.
And, probably should mention we did mention costume designer. It was Mary. Was it? Is it pronounced Voggett? Mary Voggett, the costume designer. Do you remember working with
Oh,
Mary?
yeah, yeah. She's done some great films later on or before.
Mm.
What is her name?
It's Mary Voggett. Well, VOGT.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. I thought she was
Voggett.
great on this film.
Yeah.
I don't remember her
Yeah.
now. Um,
I believe she's still working and
oh, really?
did
Okay.
one of my favorite films, Batman Returns, which is a
Oh, really?
very good
Uh-huh.
Tim
Oh,
Burton film.
great, great.
Um,
Yeah, I've been retired for almost 15 years now. So I haven't kept up with movies, film crew. I
what, what,
live in an area where many former George Lucas employees still live here, live around,
hmm,
and uh, often, not often, sometimes have lunch with them. But other than that, I'm pretty much out of contact with movie people.
was there a certain point where you was it a conscious decision to retire? Was there some? Do you just kind of feel like you had enough at
Well,
that point, or?
um, when I reached 71, I think, um, my wife was not healthy, and I didn't want to be on location out of town anymore. And then, um, actually, like last 10 years of my career, I I wanted to work in San Francisco area where I can actually commute, and that was my decision. And uh, in 71, I retired, and I think 2 years later, my wife passed away. So my decision was okay.
Yeah.
I don't regret.
Because you worked with your wife, I think, on Apocalypse Now, wasn't it? She was on that,
Yeah,
or
she did
yeah.
it. She did. Her job was uh, uh, she reconstructed the script.
Mm,
In other words, from shooting script to uh, actual final cut, uh, the version of final edit,
mm.
which became a final script.
Yeah.
Um, it apparently was so different from original
Yeah.
original shootings. Anyway,
Mm,
and 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 she worked as a assistant to um, um, Phil Kaufman, the director who did the right stuff.
oh yes, yeah.
Um, I'm going to turn off the movie.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, here you go. So anyway, uh, she yeah, she was in film business for a while. She worked on Never Cry Wolf. I don't know whether you've seen Never Cry Wolf or not.
I think maybe a long time ago. It does ring a distant bell.
It's one of my favorite films.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's completely different from what you saw or Star Trek. It's more naturalistic. Yeah, if you can take a look at it,
I will. Yes.
yeah, it's a really incredible film.
And was it am I correct that Roman Polanski's Knife in the Water was quite an important film to you?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Okay. Um, I think I was just finishing my study at the San Francisco Art Institute, and I saw the film. Um, now I I used to watch movies, but I really wasn't paying attention to what what makes a great movie. So when I saw Knife in Water, I noticed why am I why do I think this is a really wonderful film? Uh, I wasn't too familiar with the stories, uh, the kind of suspense subject. I was just watching uh, uh, as a movie, and then it made me think, boy, this images created a whole different world beyond dialogue, or it images uh, not only compensated but enhanced the story. And then at that time, I began to sort of pay attention to cinematography in movies. Like when I saw Kurosawa's early movies, like Rashomon or Seven Samurai, I felt it's great, but yet I didn't know what made it great. And and photography was an essential part of storytelling. Telling. So, uh, Water in a Knife in the Water was, I think, the very first film that I personally began to kind of pay attention to images that really told a story that can be fully explained by words. Anyway, that was
And you mentioned that you'd know some of the George Lucas crew, but you did work with we worked on More American Graffiti. Did you encounter George Lucas on that? I think he.
uh, no, not on American Graffiti, but later um, I uh, I lived in San Rafael. That's where George Lucas had ILM studio, and and not because I was in near proximity, but I had a chance to do some pickups because I was already established cameraman locally in an area. He asked me to shoot bits and pieces of Star Wars and Indiana Jones and this and that. So I got with George Lucas organization for quite a while, shooting small images.
What was it like doing Indiana Jones? Was that quite good?
Well, like uh, they will call me and say, "Well, I need a close up of Harrison Ford on a horse." Uh, we don't have a horse. He will be on a crane, pretending. All we need is a close up of like his reaction. So
Yeah.
I would go in there and shoot, or Harrison Ford against gigantic blue screen. Uh, was it? Yeah, a green screen in those
Mm.
days
Yeah.
against some enormous background.
Mm.
Uh, I don't remember exactly what it was, but anyway, or close up of this and that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, there's a lot of horse work in Last Crusade. That would have been 88, I think.
Okay,
It might have been that
okay,
one.
okay.
Um, um, what did you do on Return of the Jedi?
Uh, the early in the film, um, R2D2 and 3CPO walk toward this castle in Death Valley.
Oh, yeah, yeah, in the valley. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and and the castle is um, uh, later on inserted as matte painting. So
Yes.
we went to this valley to shoot a glass plate,
Mm.
the 3CPO and R2D2 walking toward the castle, and it was a real precision work of matting, that sort of thing, and a few other close up. Um, yeah, in those days.
He didn't work on Return of the Jedi, but I did a few of these chats with a guy called Harrison Ellenshaw. Does that name ring a bell? Ha Harrison Ellenshaw?
Sounds familiar, but no, I don't think so.
Because his father Peter did a lot of
Uh-huh.
work for Disney and knew Walt Disney quite
Uh-huh.
well.
Uh-huh.
And Harrison went on to he did the first couple of Star Wars, and a lot of the shots that we see in Hocus
Oh,
Pocus
okay.
would be
Okay.
kind of things that he would have done,
Yeah,
on not
yeah,
on Hocus Pocus but
yeah,
for different
yeah.
films. And was
I
it
I got to work with Dennis Muren.
oh yes.
Uh, he was in charge of um, special effects and additional shoot, and yeah, it was fun. I still see him. He lives in the area.
Oh, that's lovely. So it's just sort of wrapping up our chat on Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
Did you feel that it was quite a special film when you were making it? That it was an enjoyable experience and it would be well received? Did you sort of think about that in those terms back then?
What was the earlier part of the question?
Oh, if you felt that the film was if you had if it was if there was if this was a good film that when you're making it that this was something a bit special.
You know, sometimes
Mm.
uh, it's really funny. Sometimes when you're working on a film, says, "Oh boy, this production, this filming went very smoothly, and I think this is going to be a great film." Often turns out to be a very dull film. I don't know uh, the any sort of conflict, difficulties, all this mess we face has something to do with creative force. Um, um, like Never Cry Wolf was a total madness. Uh, it was incredible. It took 5 months first year. Film wasn't director felt that he didn't have enough scenes to make a film. So we went back second year, spent 5 more months in Alaska and British Columbia. And this was really a mess, but it turned out to be a great film.
Mm.
So I don't trust my own judgment about uh, the condition of filmmaking itself uh, uh, have anything to do with the final result.
Mm.
Uh, More likely, things that go so smoothly that tend to lack something. There's not conflicts or something.
Mm.
Anyway, um, in my experience, so uh, difficulty working, difficult condition working on the film doesn't really reflect anything at all.
No, no, no. A lot of people, I know a lot of people say that they really loved working on a film. It was a terrible
Yeah,
film, but they really enjoyed it. So,
right,
and
right.
sometimes vice
Yeah,
versa.
yeah, yeah.
Having seen the film again now, were there bits that you particularly thought, oh, well, you thought that's really good. Other bit you mentioned you didn't like the some of the stuff in the climactic moments, but
Uh,
were there bits in the film watching it now you thought, oh yes, I got
you know,
that
uh,
right, or it looks
I
good.
I mean, this particular focus post or other
Yeah,
film.
yeah, Hocus Pocus, yeah.
Um, it it I mean, it's not it's not my kind of film. I have to
Oh,
admit.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
and yet when I see it, I appreciate something that I didn't see in the past. Um, uh, I thought acting was way too over the top, but now I think I kind of appreciate well what a talent you know Bette Midler and other people had. I mean, it's not easy to act like that, and I shouldn't have simply ignored it as an over the top performance. Yeah,
Well, I think a lot of people would. I think what it's the life it's had since. I think has probably surprised everybody. You know,
yeah,
it was successful at the
yeah,
time, but for it to
yeah,
have this kind of cult
yeah,
following and every
yeah.
Halloween people are going to be watching this.
Many
Yeah.
years, people think, "Oh boy, how great that film was," or "Honey, I Shrunk the Kids."
Mm.
Oh, when I was a kid, I really loved the film, etc., etc. I never Hocus Pocus. I didn't see it till you mentioned. You said you want to ask some questions about it. So
Mm.
like 30 years, I didn't see it for
Oh,
30
right.
years.
Yeah.
Was the first time I saw.
Oh, lovely. Well, thank you for
It's
yeah.
not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
And
I imagine with something like you say, it's not your kind of film, but you must have a lot of freedom because you're
yeah,
using color palettes and
right,
things that
right.
you wouldn't normally do
The,
in
right,
a more
right,
straightforward
right.
film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it must
Like
have been quite freeing.
there's another film called Shadrach, which is a name of person, Shadrach, and it was a financial disaster. It was like came out and a week later it was gone, and it was gone forever. And I still think that's one of my favorite films,
Mm.
um, even though two really well-known actors, um, a female actress, um, something McDowell, Jody McDowell or Judy McDowell,
And, what's the name of the film again? Sorry.
Shadrach. Shadrach is spelled Shad,
Yeah,
Shadrach, or Rack.
Shadrach. Uh, oh, no,
Harvey Keitel is in.
so it's 19. Is it 1998?
Ah, okay.
Sort of time, I
Yeah,
think. Let's have a
right.
little, just because there's a couple of
S-
films with the same.
McDowell, something McDowell.
Let's have a look. Oh, yes, it is Andy McDowell. Andy
Andy
McDowell.
McDowell, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That film, I enjoyed working on it, and
Mm,
I think it's a great film, and
mm,
yet nobody cared.
mm,
So my taste for movies is very different.
mm.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's another family favorite film, isn't it?
Right, right. That
Yeah,
was very popular. I know when it came out, it was a very popular film,
yeah.
and when we were working on it, it was very difficult, very difficult.
Mm,
Um, Studio had so many opinions, and the director, it was his first film,
mm,
and the director became um, well-known director since then, but since it was his first film, Studio Disney really tried to control.
mm.
Uh,
So is working on a Disney film different to other films in the respect that there's always a lot riding on a Disney film. Is it a bit?
it's uh, you may not believe, but Never Cry Wolf was a Disney film,
Mm,
and they hated it because it was totally non-Disney film. And and if you see it, you'll be. I hope you'll be blown away how incredible that film is. Then studio uh, uh, studio chief who was married to Disney's daughter, Ron Miller. Uh, he was in charge, and after that, it was no longer controlled by Disney family. Became a corporate, became corporations, and there's so many people, and yeah, it was like lawyers making decisions, and only few people had the sense of good movie making. It was all money,
Yeah.
and and uh, um, it became really difficult for directors. And Hocus Pocus, I think, fortunately, Kenny knew someone on in upper echelon in Disney Studio, so I think Kenny had had control. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so since then, I have no idea what Disney is not a popular studio anymore.
No, there is as just speaking, mentioning Howard Elishaw again because his father Peter Elishaw, how Walt designed Disneyland. He did a lot of the sketches and stuff
Right,
for it,
right, right.
and Walt would come to their house, and I think Harrison said they just got a new sofa, and they were desperately trying to get it in before Walt came around.
Oh, really?
And I asked Harrison because he'd worked with Disney for quite a long time when it kind of changed and
Uh,
perhaps started to get the reputation it does have now in some quarters.
right,
And he said
right,
it was when Walt Disney died. That was
right, 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 right.
Disney kind of shifted,
Yeah,
unfortunately, I
yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
But
Um, I did another Disney film, uh, the Rocketeer.
oh, the Rocketeer. Oh, yeah, yes, the
Yeah,
Timothy Dalton and
right, right, right.
other people in that one.
Now
Yes.
that uh, that film I enjoy actually. I enjoy working on it. I enjoy uh, showing up every day in studio.
Mm,
It was fun for me. Um, I I still think it's a wonderful film, but I Disney did not promote it right correctly to me. They thought it as a movie for young people,
mm,
uh, and it's not. It's not. Actually it's a movie for grown ups, and uh, idea is way too sophisticated for kids, even though it's based on comic book.
mm.
If you get a chance to see it, Rocketeer.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, I do remember the Rocketeer.
uh,
I'm a big James Bond fan, so I probably watched it
oh,
because Timothy Dalton was
oh
in it.
yeah.
But
Uh,
I don't know what your experience of Timothy Dalton was, but I met him once in person, and
uh,
he was a bit difficult with me, but he might have been lovely with you. I
I had no dealing with him.
not him directly, no,
Yeah,
no.
but I noticed that uh, most British actors are very friendly. I
Hmm.
mean, they like I worked with Renessa Redgrave. She would eat lunch with us. Very casual. Nothing special about being a famous actress. Didn't pretend to be. But Tim Dilton, I never saw when he's not on the set performing. I never saw him. Apparently, he just goes to trailer, and I don't know. Like he doesn't eat lunch with us. I mean, he's always. I think he maintained that actors in that class should be. I don't know. He didn't try to be uppity, but certainly he was not among us.
Yeah, yeah, I can, and yeah, that seems about right from my point of view. Joe Johnson directed The Rocketeer, and of course
Yeah,
he's done a lot of films, Jurassic Park
yeah, yeah,
3 and Marvel and all sorts of things.
yeah. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was his first film.
Mm. And
Yeah,
what was Joe Johnson quite a good director?
yeah, he was a good. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, coming from ILM, Lucas organization,
Mm,
He certainly knew storytelling. He knew what images will cut with this image or
mm,
to advance storytelling, visual storytelling. Telling he was
mm.
very experienced.
And you mentioned Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Was that very challenging because of all the different
Oh God,
scales
yes,
and
yeah.
things? And
There was a director assigned to the project first. Um, Actually, he was well-known horror film director, and when I was hired, he was still in charge of the project, and just before production started, this is in Mexico. Um, the film was the entire film was made in Mexico, and he became sick, ill. Uh, I think he had a heart issue, and the doctor said, "You have to, you have, you can't work on the movie. You have to go home." Mexico City was is in higher altitude, and it was affecting his heart. Anyway, so he was removed from the film, and the producer, I don't know, um, Tom Smith, who was a former ILM um, manager, knew Joe Johnston, and uh, I think Joe Johnston uh, was George Lucas's favorite, um, one of the favorite, um,
yes.
and Lucas, I think, recommended to Tom, you should try Joe, even though he's a directed film, and and somehow uh, Disney was convinced and hired Joe Johnson. So I was still in Mexico during that time, and Johnson hired the writer to rewrite the script, um, which was a great idea. I mean, he improved 100%, and then that's how production started. Uh, Most of the crew were from the previous director's choice, and um, there are a lot of production issue uh, uh, dealing with children. But Rick Moranis was wonderful to work with, and he stayed on. And
Yes,
that
he's wonderful in that film, isn't it? And it's
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he just recently started to return to acting, so that's
yeah,
nice
yeah.
seeing him back again.
But I think Moranis really helped to keep the production together, I think.
Would you? I always think it's one of the lead actors' responsibility to do that in a way to kind of keep to set the tone and the set,
Right,
and
right,
which of
right.
course Bette Midler would have done
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Hocus, sort of
yeah.
sort of
And he was one of those people who were really, really, really friendly people, a friendly person. Uh, Never pretended to be a famous actor.
right.
Yeah,
Of course, the industry has changed an awful lot well during your time and your career, but also, of course, since. Do you think it's although we've got lots of technical trickery that perhaps
right,
wasn't there
right.
before, do you think it's as an exciting industry now as it was when you were active?
You know, I think my I was about to make a transition from film to digital, and I looked forward to it in a way. I enjoyed shooting high definition, now it's very different. Um, Equipment is different. The lighting equipment is different. Um, Technical changes, I welcomed it actually, but something else happened. The filmmaking itself, uh, I think it's changed. Um, I still belong to old school. Uh, Good story, you know, go at it. Now with the, I mean, it's very confusing to me. Uh, the fancy image is taking over uh, storytelling, and I've been watching. I don't know if you know about. There is a Academy Awards among students, film students. Um, uh, each year they give Academy Award to student filmmakers. So I've been watching that or judging the films uh, last five or more years, and I see the changes along the changes in film industry. The student tends to copy or emulate the successful film directors, and the student films sort of like copy mini version of fancy film. But recently, I it's changing, and I find student films more interesting, not really developed, but more original, and that is kind of lost in in film industry. Um, they're really into making some fancy films, but my hope is that they will go back to, in a way, old-fashioned storytelling. Uh, and
I think there's a real appetite from the audience to have films that are real. If you look at some of the big
right, right,
blockbusters
uh,
like Oppenheimer and Barbie,
right,
and they're not
uh,
these big visual effects films.
right,
And I
right,
think audience perhaps are
right,
it'd be interesting to see how the next James Bond film comes along
right,
because that's always been very practical in camera stuff. So
right,
I
right,
think people want to feel a connection with the images,
uh-huh,
and if something is just computer generated, it doesn't feel like you can feel it. It doesn't have a weight
uh-huh,
to it.
right,
And I think
right,
we are perhaps starting to hunger for that after being kind
yeah,
of bombarded by
right.
all these visual effects films that I think.
I often talk about um, the movie John Ford directed, How Green Was My Valley,
Yep.
black and white,
Hmm. Yeah.
and how simple was that? Was that John Ford?
I think
I
it
think it
was. I
was.
think it was.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and it's a really beautiful film, very simple done. It's a really captivating film, and I think it's a real story. I read it somewhere
Mm.
that John Ford movie is like 9,000 feet, which is a little over an hour, right?
Mhm.
John Ford only shot 110,000 feet. That's the entire film.
Right. Yeah.
So that studio have no way to recut the film. But there's nothing to recut because he didn't allow anything printed or anything actually exposed that it's not going to end up and used as a re-editing uh,
Clever.
material. And that's, I mean, it's a fascinating story. And personally, I don't think the film can be made in director's head only. Like that's why people like Hitchcock, but I think I think his film is pre-made too much. There's no surprises. I mean, there are surprises, but not from my point of view. I believe the film can be recreated in editing, and certain images that uh, director got it on the film by mistake can be extremely effective or usable.
Mm.
What I'm trying to say is uh, filmmaking is a process, and the producer is going to disagree because they don't want to spend any money on unnecessary footage. But the real filmmaking I, um, is is not complete until the film is edited. And uh, I I think the film director's approach, they change from one to another. Um, I've always um, appreciated Antonioni's idea of filmmaking. Um, he has to have a good script, and he knows the script inside out. But he said, night before the shoot, he doesn't think about that next day's work until he shows up on the set, because the location and actors can really shift things, and the directors has to be aware of that change. The what's the how do you that interact, not force, but interaction of actors in the space. And
So it becomes quite fluid for
yeah,
how you
yeah.
interact with it.
He
Yeah.
said uh, he said he needs 20 minutes on the set before shooting begins. No one talks to him. Just let him just stand there and watch whatever.
Mm. Yeah.
But then he doesn't shoot anything too much excessive stuff. He just and that's a great artistic process to me. A lot of directors I felt preconceived scenes too much, and forget what's great things that's happening in front of the camera. But he'll be pointing, looking at, you know. Anyway,
Well, it's a bit like life, isn't it? That we don't rehearse like conversation we're having now. It's not. It's prepared. We've prepared. We've done our homework, but we haven't.
right,
We're not. So it's natural. There's going to be
right,
pauses. There's going to be things that work
yeah,
better, that things that
yeah,
don't. And
yeah,
film should reflect that because otherwise
yeah,
they become a bit artificial.
yeah. I
Mm.
like the director uh, who prepares storyboard but not bring it out to the set and say, okay, this is this
Mm.
is what we're going to shoot today. I
Yeah.
prefer shotting list. I mean, shot list. I like maybe wide shots, and you know, I, if I can get it in one setup,
Mm.
let's go for it. But
Mm. When you want a Disney film, is it quite luxurious by some film standards in terms of how many days you have to
oh
work?
yeah,
Is it?
they have a trick. They have a trick which I really don't like. The trick is okay. Uh, Producer says, okay, it requires 8 weeks to shoot. And then the studio says, okay, what's the budget? Says, oh, okay. Then, like 3 weeks before the actual shoot, Disney said, you have to cut down your shooting schedule or budget to this, cut down a week. So the producer furiously rethink about everything, and then cut cuts shooting day to 7 weeks, even though they know it's impossible.
Mm.
So that they begin shooting, and sure enough, 7 weeks, film isn't finished yet, and Disney says, "Okay, you can add another week," meaning to original schedule that producer wanted. So in the end, 8 week schedule should have been acceptable,
Yes. Mm.
but it's sort of a psychological um, control on the part of studios, and they like to make people suffer, and knowing that in the end it's going to end up 8 weeks and end up spending the same original budget. So I mean, they do that on every movies. I don't know why they do that. It's sort of a control thing.
Yeah, it sounds a bit kind of, domineering sort of thing, doesn't it,
Right,
really?
right,
But
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Uh,
uh, all that is a thing of the past.
mm, mm.
What
Did
do
you?
you do? I meant to ask.
Oh, what do I do for a
Uh,
day job? This is my hobby. I work in a care home. I'm the recruitment and training manager.
oh wow.
So that's what I do in the day. So
Uh,
some of these skills come in
uh,
handy, in interviewing staff, and I do
right.
first aid training and all that kind of thing.
Wow.
But this started as a lockdown hobby to
Uh,
kind of keep myself from going mad, and it's
yeah.
still going ever since. So
Um, is your mother okay, or is it still?
yes, she's all right, thank you. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I was with her earlier today and went over last night, and
oh,
it's a difficult time because obviously Dad's only been gone for be 6 months on the 18th.
oh, wow.
And Mum had a lot of health issues herself the last
Uh,
sort of 5 years, so
uh,
which makes it more
yeah, yeah.
complicated. I'm an only child as well, so of course it
Oh,
kind of falls
okay.
to me. I've got a very
Yeah,
supportive wife as well, and
yeah, yeah.
she's actually why we're doing this tonight actually because she's the big Hocus Pocus fan, and
Oh, yeah,
she
you mentioned,
said,
yeah,
yeah, she
yeah,
said you've got to watch this,
yeah.
and she gets out every Halloween, and
Oh,
obviously
okay, yeah.
I've appreciate it because of
But
her.
but there is no Halloween in UK.
It's getting more Americanized. I remember
Uh-huh,
being as a kid, I think I might have gone trick-or-treating once or twice.
uh-huh,
And when I was about 20 or so, there was Halloween parties in my local town
uh-huh.
and things like that. So it's a lot bigger than it's starting
Oh,
to get a
yeah,
bit. It obviously won't be ever as big as it is in the States,
yeah.
but it is a holiday
Yeah,
now that's quite important.
yeah. I the area I live, fortunately, it's it's very dark at night,
Mm.
so I don't have any children is wandering around for
Yeah.
trick and treat. Yeah.
Yeah, we live behind this sort of some gates you can lock,
Oh,
which lead into a block of houses, so we don't really get too disturbed by kids or anything. Did you ever see the sequel, Hocus Pocus 2? Did you ever look at that out of curiosity or
no, I didn't. I didn't.
no?
Yeah.
Um, it's
Um,
not a bad film. It's not as good as this one, but of course
uh,
it does have a continuity in terms
uh,
of
okay.
looks. So some of it
Yeah.
is your
Uh-huh.
legacy, as it were, in the
Oh,
film, of
okay.
course,
Oh,
costumes and
okay.
everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
just
I heard that the camera person was a female person, female director of photography.
oh, I'll just have a quick check. You're probably correct. Yeah. I mean, I know the industry is getting better when it comes to sort of gender equality and equality
Yeah.
of in all areas, but it's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
still I think got a long way to go, doesn't it? Really, unfortunately.
Well, right now, the president of ASC, American Society of Cinematography, ASC president is female,
Mm,
Australian, and
yeah.
I was happy to see that.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I
What?
I I also spent, oh God, a long time, nearly 20 years as a um, executive board of directors for Cameramen's Union,
Mhm.
Local 600. and I got to know active camera people,
Mhm.
uh, both male and female. And for a long time, it was really a male dominated
Mm.
union. And uh, I was not a activist, so to speak, but sort of quietly wanted to have changes. Um,
The cinematographer on the sequel is a man, Elliot Davis. However, it's directed by Anne Fletcher.
ah,
So directed
okay.
by so
Director
um
was a fan. Okay.
yeah. And you still, if you think of major films, it's still predominantly a man's world director-wise. You see more
Yeah, yeah,
female
yeah,
directors, but
yeah,
still a way to go,
yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
is there
It,
any? Oh, sorry, Hero.
I'm not a good at explaining, so I don't know if if you've gotten enough information
Oh,
from me.
oh no, it's been wonderful. It's been very interesting to go through the film with you in this
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I know. And do you have any other thoughts or recollections from the film that you haven't had a chance to speak about or
On specifically on Hocus
on
Pocus.
Hocus? Yeah.
Um, well, I don't want to talk about the negative aspects of it. You know, it wasn't it wasn't a smooth production. Uh, Not the actors or anything. On from the crew's point of view, it was very stressful. A couple of people told me that this is a very stressful productions, and I brought most of the crew actually is from the Star Trek Six, same
Mhm.
people, same
Yeah.
gaffers, and they told me, "Boy, this is the most stressful film." And it was for me too. And
Mhm.
I know. I mean, I don't want to talk negative about this person or that person, but at one point, in when the studios and the, and the actors and the directors, not necessarily conflicts, but but in a strange competition, so to speak. I mean, this is not to be mentioned. But then there are certain films where you see immediately uh, somebody's trying to be boss and somebody trying to, you know, I don't know. But uh, I'm I'm trying to help actors as much as possible. For me, um, uh, minimizing actors' waiting time between setups is very important to me. Um, uh, I know, well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if actors prefer to go to their trailers and relax between setups, or some people like to stay on set because they just don't want to come out of that acting mode and have a coffee somewhere. Or some people doesn't matter what happened. I mean, they have amazing ability to get in, um, get it in the character, get off character. Amazing. I've seen a couple of people like that, and also people who can't get out of the character, uh, which is really actually more difficult. Anyway, so
Do you,
you
oh,
get to meet these interesting people. I don't have any opinions about them, but sometimes those could make you really stressed.
yes, it's quite a complex film to make
Right,
anyway.
right,
If
right, right,
if you've
right.
got politics going on,
right,
it's going
right,
to make it more
yeah,
difficult, isn't it? But
yeah.
um,
Uh, anyone from really, uh, I had a chance to work with Vanessa Redgrave on a television movie, and she was so casual. I mean, not not in a sense that she will talk to anybody. Like I couldn't tell whether she was on she was an actress was just playing a role a few minutes ago, or uh, or this person who's relaxing uh, is real Redgrave relaxing, or Redgrave as an as an character relaxing.
hmm,
She said she we travel through with any sort of, I don't know. She had very interesting wall around her, and she doesn't seem to be affected by people moving around, yelling at each other. She was there, and she never walked. I mean, she never went to her trailer. She was always on set, sitting around and watching people setting up lights and so forth.
hmm,
But but she had the ability to block out, I guess, those activities outside of herself,
yeah.
and that's pretty. It has to be a very strong person.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I did see Vanessa Redgrave on stage a couple of times. Opposite James Earl Jones, which was quite
Uh-huh.
a
Uh-huh.
treat. And Vanessa Redgrave didn't come out the stage door, but I think maybe because of her age. But you could give
Uh-huh.
stuff to the stage,
Okay. Okay.
doorman, and
Uh-huh.
later it would come back out. She would sign
Uh-huh.
it. So she seemed to be quite
Yeah.
nice and a brilliant actress, of course.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And James Earl Jones would just sit in his car outside the theatre,
Uh-huh.
wind the window down, and talk to you. And he was one of not
Uh,
everybody I've met at stage doors is like is as lovely as him because
uh-huh.
he says, "Oh, well, where are you from? Did you enjoy it?" And he wanted to know about the people that were
Uh-huh.
here to see him. And not
Uh,
all actors are that generous in
yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
he seemed to be very much a people
Yeah.
person, which I thought was
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you find that actors do want to have an input in terms of how you like them or how you're doing a scene? Are they sort of concerned with the lighting aspect of it, what you're doing?
Yeah. I've seen people who weren't concerned about lighting. I mean, but extreme end of that is someone who's always concerned about how she looked, and she would carry a mirror and actually check the lighting, and uh, and would sometimes, I mean, openly say, "Do you think you can make it a little softer or something?" Nothing to do with the scene or the character. It's about how she looked. And
Yeah.
what can you say to them?
Mm.
Um, you look fine, or you don't need to look beautiful. this this scene is you're supposed to look menacing or whatever. I can't say those things to actors. I like to avoid that sort of um, conversation. They should go to the director, but they do come to me and say, today I have a little pimple, so can you shoot from this side? And I always try to accommodate them, or at least pretend to accommodate them. But um, oh, so there's another actress that I really, really, really enjoyed working is Tilda Swinton.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But she is like, oh, do I have bags? Just leave it there because that's who I am. Oh,
Oh,
or things like that.
hmm.
I she was. more into her performance, whether with wrinkles or not. That, that wrinkle was part of the performance. Yes, leave it there.
Oh,
But
that's a
yeah,
very healthy attitude, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I've,
Yeah.
one time, makeup artist for her came to me. He said, he said, uh, Bet would like to reduce the amount of shadow under her chin, and he would like you to carry a flag to block any harsh light. So makeup artist gonna, and I said, okay, I'll try. And it sometimes it was impossible. So I I was suspicious of his comment. So I went to bed discreetly. I said, "Are you concerned about your chin?" I mean, not seriously, but sort of half joking. I, and Beth said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, you're a makeup artist, and you're concerned about." She said, I don't give a shit. So it wasn't Beth. Actually, it was a makeup artist who was trying to protect his makeup.
Ah, right.
So
Yeah.
that sort of things happen. So I I don't know, what can I say?
I was just looking up the makeup artists on the film, and it was
Right, right,
I think there
daily
was two. There
thing.
were two for Bette Midler,
Yeah.
Kevin Haney and Lee Harmon.
Uh-huh.
Might be
Yeah.
one of those two that might come
Yeah.
up to you. But that's
I hope they were retired a long time ago. These people, these are uh, it's very interesting. Some makeup artists or hairstylists are specifically hired by actors, not by
mm,
studios. I don't know whether the studio pays for them or Bette Midler's hairstylist has been her hairstylist for many years, and
yeah.
they know how to. They become their shrink. I understand, personal shrink, and
Well,
it's
they must spend an
important,
awful lot of time with them, mustn't
right?
they?
And it's important for them
Yeah,
to talk,
yeah.
chat, gossip,
Mm,
and if it helps them, why not?
yeah. I assume it was contractual, those kind of things. I have
Yeah,
to
right,
have
right,
X,
right.
Y, and Z come with me and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's, I think it's a really good film, Hocus Pocus. Of course, John Denby's music is
Uh, uh,
particularly good. And you mentioned earlier about not treating it as a comedy. And one of
right.
the ways I think why the film
Uh,
holds up so well is the music is not comedy music, it's
right, right.
dramatic music. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
all good comedies are
Uh,
played, as you said, for
uh,
straight, and then the
that's
comedy plays itself. And it
right,
comes,
right,
you're
right.
not forcing it by
Yeah, right,
having do under
right,
it,
right, right.
So I
One
think,
thing
yeah.
I may be completely wrong. I may not be remembering right, but before we start shooting, um, I saw a different version of makeup, and um, I think at one point Bette Midler had a prosthetic nose to make it hook nose,
Hmm, yeah,
and I think she must have said it's difficult to sing with that nose,
right.
and I they must she must have questioned Kenny Ortega, do you really need it? And I think she was able to convince you don't really need.
No, no, so much of
Yeah,
it is through
yeah.
her,
The
for the
the
costume, the
characters,
hair, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah,
and also her teeth what going through some different stages of, you know. Anyway,
Because it's a very good look, isn't it? Because the other two have
right,
regular
right.
teeth, and she has the very,
Yeah, yeah,
so, but
yeah.
um,
It's possible the teeth replace nose, her nose.
yeah, I think if you had both, it would
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
not
too
quite
much.
look
Yeah,
as,
yeah,
and her hair, of course, I think
yeah.
and the costumes again, it's a really good
That
look, isn't it, on them?
is, I think, it's a wig. Her
Oh,
hair
yeah, I
is,
imagine
yeah,
bet it's better in a
yeah,
wig, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And she's a very small lady, and she was on platform, I think, high heel or platform shoes.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
the costume covered her feet, but she didn't want to make it too long that she might step on it. So
I
her
wonder,
dress was
yeah.
long enough to scrape the floor, but not
Yeah.
um, interfere with her walking, dancing.
Because it's very iconic when they walk along the streets and they will hold up
Right.
their dresses and
Oh yeah, I
that
noticed that too. Yeah,
yeah I think that's
that's great.
yeah mm,
Very interesting.
yeah well I think it's probably a lovely place to end it here unless you've got anything else you want
Okay.
to say.
Oh no, I'm always concerned that I'm not supplying you with enough information.
Oh no no
Yeah,
no it was brilliant because I had lots of questions and
uh,
you were kind of just without asking you were giving me the information because you were as you were saying it, so it was lovely.
you've seen this book?
Oh yeah, yes. He would you bring it down yeah, or just down a bit further because I can't. It's blurred out. Oh, you're down a bit more. Yeah. So yeah. So depth of field, life and work of cinematographer. Yeah. Yeah.
It's I had a conversation with the writer in Rome.
Mhm.
Uh, Conversation it's more Q&A through emails, and
Mhm.
he started asking me questions like you did, but not long, but short. And then a few days later, said, can I ask you more? And then more. And it went on for, I think, about a year and a half.
Oh wow.
Um, he was going to just put it on his website,
Mhm.
which he does. That's his work. And after a year and a half, he said, "Well, maybe I can make it into a book." And it's a really interesting. Uh, uh, it's Irish publisher,
Mhm.
published in Rome for mostly for Italians,
Right.
and at the same time they some stuff they publish in English. I mean English, yeah. Then
Yeah.
original version is Italian. Uh, but anyway, he asked me so many questions that that things that I never thought about, and actually I sort of learned more about myself because he asked me so many questions,
Yes.
and I think he knew how to dig some information from my bottom of my memory bank. But anyway, um, yeah, until people ask me questions, a lot of stuff I, I don't think it's particularly interesting, so I never speak about it. But in retrospect, yeah, it's been an interesting life.
Oh
I'm not,
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you've got a wonderful, career, and I would must get a copy of your book. It sounds very interesting. I often approach people if they want to talk about this or that, and sometimes they say, "I don't remember anything about that. Why do you want to talk to me about it?"
yeah,
I'll do it, but I don't think we've come to
yeah,
anything.
it,
And we talk for a couple of hours because once you start to
yeah,
trigger,
yeah,
things
yeah.
come out as you say.
It's an interesting mental exercise. Uh, Yeah, you remember things. I found out uh, because he kept asking me about some film. I came upon a film uh, that I couldn't remember 95% of it. And I don't know why I could not remember. Um, and I realized, ah, we had, I had a crew, uh, my crew, who had a heart attack on set. And I had another guy who um, started to drink on set. So I had to fire him.
Right.
And on and on. And this project had more problems than I could handle, so to speak. But I went through,
Mm.
and as a result, um, I suppose it was a result of that stress that I had. I couldn't remember 90% of what happened,
Mm.
and I tried to force myself, but I couldn't remember.
Oh, yeah, you just blocked it out, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't block out Hocus Pocus because it's been a lovely chat to have you with you
great,
today.
great.
But,
That's great. Well, thank you for asking questions.
no, no,
It's
no, yeah, yeah, very, very enjoyable. So thank you for going through it, in this way. Um, but I'll let you go, Hero. Thank you very much. It's
okay.
been lovely to
Yeah.
chat with you.
Okay. We'll see you again.
We will do. I'll see you for
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.